قبل ما ابدا احنا هنتكلم بالانجليزي، ويا ريت تتكلم بالانجليزي واسئلتك بالانجليزي. وايه تاني؟ ونبدا بقى. طيب. Organic chemistry. So let me ask you a question. Why are Saudis rich?
Because they have petrol.
لا قرب المايك لبوقك يا زيزو.
Because they have petrol.
ماشي petrol, which is oil.
Yes.
So what is oil and why is it important?
It gives energy.
Okay, oil gives energy. So basically it's a fuel, right?
Yes.
Oil, we have oil. So it's, how does it give out energy?
It gets burned.
Burn. Hell, what's burning? When you burn something, what's burning?
Kinetic energy.
لا مش kinetic energy يا زيكو، ما تعصبنيش. ماشي. Burning is basically, it's called burning in oxygen. It's called combustion. Burning يبقى oil plus oxygen. It will give me carbon dioxide plus water. وايه تاني؟ Heat.
Oh.
Heat. A lot of heat. Okay, so we use this heat energy to some sort of drive a motor.
Yes.
Drive a motor. So this is basically the oil industry in a nutshell. Anyways, going further, the gas in your stove. عارف يعني stove؟
Yes.
يعني ايه stove؟ متجاز. Okay. What is this gas?
Natural gas.
Natural gas. Natural gas. What is natural gas?
It's gas that comes from the earth. It has a variant from oil. لا.
بص يا زيكو، وانت بتتكلم امسك المايك في ايدك، ما تقعدش ما تعملش نفسك في مؤتمر، فاهم؟ ان انت امسك المايك في ايدك. ماشي. It's a variant. It comes from oil, right?
Yes.
It's an oil product.
Mhm.
Do you know what is it? No. Okay. يا خيبتك اللي بتاع فاضل 10 ايام ومش عارف. طيب مش مهم، المهم نكمل. طيب natural gas is called methane. Methane. This is the very basic organic chemistry compound. The very basic. This is like sort of, it's not a building block, but this is the most basic compound in organic chemistry that you'll be studying. So what is methane?
A polymer.
لا زيكو انت كده ضايع، مش مهم. It's not a polymer. Anyways, so methane is a compound that has carbon and hydrogen. So can you, it has one carbon atom, one hydrogen atom. And sorry, 4 hydrogen atoms. Can you draw it? You just drew methane. So this is, what is that called? The drawing that you made.
Polymer thing.
لا دي مالهاش اي علاقه بالبوليمر شين، ما تعصبنيش. ده احنا البوليمر انسى البوليمر دلوقتي يا زيكو، عشان غالبا دي اخر حاجه اتشرحت لك في المدرسه، فهي ثابته في مخك ونسيت الباقي. سيبك من البوليمر خالص يا زيكو. ده اسمه هيدروكربون بسيط، دي اسمها ديسبلايد فورمولا. ديسبلايد فورمولا. ماشي حلو. So this is called the state formula. طب what about this?
Written form.
Written. Structural formula. So displayed formula, structure formula. Okay. There is a difference.
Yes.
It will sort of, we will emphasize this difference later on, but there is a difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. So we have a displayed formula, we have a structure formula, and this is methane. So can we have a compound with 2 carbon atoms instead of 1?
Yes.
3, 4, 5. Okay. Can you draw a compound with 2 carbon atoms? So this is a compound that has carbon and hydrogen and has 2 carbon atoms. So these family, or let's say these organic compounds, belong to something called hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons. So why are they called hydrocarbons?
Because they have hydrogen and carbon.
Because they consist mainly of carbon and hydrogen, so they are called hydrocarbons. Okay, so let's say vinegar. Vinegar, I think, is I can ethanoic acid, something like that. It looks like this. Bus C double bond OH. Is this compound hydrocarbon? Why, it consists mainly of hydrogen and carbons, right? So this, let's say methane, looks like that, and the other one that you drew looks like that. I'll not draw hydrogens. Let me draw عشان ما تنساش في الامتحان. And we can have more, right? We can have more carbons, right? We can
Yes.
have 10 carbons.
Yes.
We can have 20.
Yes.
I don't know the maximum number, but we can have 10, 20, even 25, 30 carbons in one compound. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
So this is called the one with two hydrogen with two carbons is called ethane. The one with three carbons called propane. The one with four carbons, butane. 5 carbons, pentane. احفظها بنتين بتاع الشعر. 6 carbons, hexane. So we have meth, eth, prop, bute, bent, pent, hex. So if you want to memorize it, ميس is بروب بيوت بنت الهكس. ميس is بروب بيوت بنت الهكس. ميس is بروب بيوت بنت الهكس. Just
Meat eat proper bute bentelex.
okay. So it's P, not B, but for memorization purposes, you can pronounce it B. Okay. So these are called alkanes. Okay. This is a family of organic compounds. A family of organic compounds called alkanes. Okay. So they have some. What's special about them? Use the microphone, please. هجيب لك ستاند يا زيكو للمايك. حط المايك افضل ايوه افكر كده. What's special about them? Think.
They have a.
There's nothing special about them. That's the special. That's the special thing. They have nothing special because all the other families of organic compounds have something special. But these alkanes, they have nothing special. So okay, nothing special about them. They are called saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated. Why are they called saturated? They are generally not active. They are saturated. They need nothing. You know, they don't need anything. They are saturated hydrocarbons. So let's take a break and see the properties of alkanes. احنا هنشيل بقى من هنا. زيكو ده انت ملط خالص يلا. مش عارف تقول حاجه يا زيكو. بتقول لك البسين بتقول لي بوليمر. في دماغك ايه؟ ملاش اي علاقه بالموضوع خالص. طيب امسك المايك يا زيكو وبعدين ايه نكمل. يا قلبي. احنا كده يا سيدي خلصنا الالكي. ما خلصناش الالكينز لسه. انت فهمت حاجه من اللي انا قلته ولا مفيش فرق؟
اوريدي فاهم معظم.
ما انت قلت لي بوليمر على الميثين.
اي بس كنت ناسي كلمه ديسبلاي فورمولا.
ماشي يعني انت حاجات في فريشمنت. يعني انت لو دخلت الامتحان يعني قلت لك ديفاين ديسبلاي فورمولا كده مش هتعرف تعملها ديفينيشن. احفظك ديفينيشن ليها بس مش مشكله يعني. يا قلبي الحمد لله. introduction alkanes. احنا قلنا الكيميكال بروبرتيز. مودين سيريز شرحناها. use of alkanes with formula isomerism. طيب let's نرجع تاني. Let's talk about the chemical properties of alkanes. Chemical properties of alkanes. Where's the book? Alkanes. Chemical properties of alkanes. They are hydrocarbons. So, and we said that methane is used in basically in your stoves, or it's used in a lot of things, mainly heating and for cooking. But there are more important things than cooking, but mainly heating. They are very important in heating and electricity production. Chemical properties of alkanes. So the first and the very obvious thing is that they burn in oxygen. They combust well. This is a very important property that makes us use them as as
source of fire.
anyway. Source of what? Fire. Okay, source of fire. Okay. So let's write the combustion of methane. Let's make it more trickier and make the combustion of ethane. Ethane combustion. What's the formula of ethane? C. It has two
C's.
C's, right?
Okay.
So C2. How many H's?
Uh,
لا ما تعصبنيش ارسمها.
لا 6.
ارسمها اهي ارسمها
Six.
عشان نخلص. 6. Okay. Plus it will burn in what? Oxygen. What will it give?
C2H6 O2.
C2
C2 لا carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide, which is CO2
Yes.
plus
water.
water H2O.
مش هينفع water.
استنى بس، ما هو في ووتر، ما هو لازم يبقى في الحاجة التانية هتروح فين؟ هو هنا انت داخل لك هيدروجين واكسجين، هتروح فين؟ Okay. We have 2 carbons, right? So we must have 2 CO2. We have how many hydrogens? 6. So we must have 3 water molecules. So how many oxygen molecules do we need? We have 4 oxygen molecules and 3 oxygen molecules, right? So we have 4 and 3, 7, right? So we can write 3 over 2 oxygen molecules. But we don't want this 2, فهنعمل multiplication يبقى كده. ما دي غالبا غلط، استنى كده نحسبها تاني. We need 7 7 يعني كام؟ يعني 14 over 2. We need 7 molecules. Sorry 7 molecules وانا محتاج من هنا 6، يبقى 3.5. 3.5 دي يعني كام؟ 7 over 2. sorry 7 over 2. فانت كده هتبقى عندك كده. I think this is balanced يعني ان شاء الله. تعال كده نجرب. عندنا كام موليكول اكسجين داخلين؟ 14. وهنا عندك 8 في كربون دايوكسيد وعندك 6 في الووتر، ف6 و8 14 مظبوطه. وعندك 4 كربون داخلين طالعين هنا في كربون دايوكسيد، وعندك كام هيدروجين داخلين؟ 12 6 وطالعين هنا ايه 12 مظبوط. Okay, let's continue. So this is the first chemical reaction for alkanes. They burn. Basically, they burn in oxygen. Another important chemical reaction is called substitution reaction. Substitution. Let's see methane. We will get a chlorine molecule, okay, and react it with methane. What will happen? Very simply, one chlorine atom will replace a hydrogen atom. So it will look like that. So what's remaining? Chlorine, and it will react with the other hydrogen. What is that? Hydrochloric acid. Very good. So we have, what is this compound called? بالشكل كده يعني ارمي اسم.
C3
cold مش الفورمولا بتاعته. عايز what's the name of this compound? كلورو chloromethane. Methane plus hydrochloric acid. So we got methane plus chlorine. It will give me chloromethane plus hydrochloric acid. This is called what? One chlorine atom replaced one hydrogen atom, right? One chlorine atom, let me write it. One chlorine atom replaced
by one hydrogen atom.
No, replaced one, مش replaced by one, replaced one hydrogen atom. This reaction is called substitution. So basically the chlorine substituted the hydrogen, right?
Yes.
Substitution. In the football, in a football match. So when one player goes out and another player goes in, this is called what? Substitution. Okay? Think about football match. So we have methane plus chlorine equal chloromethane plus hydrochloric acid. Okay. This reaction will not happen in normal conditions. Do you remember what triggers the reaction?
Heat.
مش شرط. مش فين الاكسجين يا زيكو؟ ما تعصبنيش. فين
بعدين؟
جبنا اي سيره اكسجين هنا يا زيكو؟
لا
امال ايه يا زيكو؟ ما تعصبنيش.
انت قلت حاجه تعمل تجري.
What triggers this reaction? Do you remember the term activation energy? Activation. So this reaction requires some strange activation energy, not normal one. Usually the activation energy comes from heat, right? Or heat or pressure. But this reaction has a different activation energy. When you see chlorine, general, when you see chlorine, suspect ultraviolet. Ultraviolet. Why? Basically, the ultraviolet breaks out chlorine. Okay, so the ultraviolet breaks chlorine into some sort of chlorine, two chlorine atoms instead of chlorine molecule. So ultraviolet. So this reaction, substitution reaction, requires what? Ultraviolet for the activation energy. Activation energy. Okay. Can you remember the term activation energy? Right? It was usually heat, but in this reaction, it requires ultraviolet. So if you heated it, nothing will. I don't know what happened if you heated these two, but I mean, the reaction requires ultraviolet to happen. Without ultraviolet, there is no reaction. So usually, on the arrow they have ultraviolet. What is ultraviolet?
It's rays from the sun.
No, it comes from the sun, but you can have it in the lab. You can have some sort of lamp that gives ultraviolet light. الأشعة البنفسجية. I can't remember the name, بس حاجة شبه كده يعني. Okay, so we discussed the substitution reaction. Okay, let's talk about something else. This is called what? 3, 4, tick, 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 tick. What is that compound called? Butane. Okay. So what is the structure formula of this compound? Structure, not the molecular formula. The structure formula.
C10 CH10
C كام طيب؟
C4H10
C4H10. This is the molecular formula. I want the structure formula. Okay. Let's draw the structure formula. Basically, the structure formula, get the structure and draw it. That's very simple. So it's CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, right? That's the structure formula. So this is called butane. Can we have another C4H10 like drawn like that? C. This is what? This compound is what?
Butane.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Butane.
Let's discuss the molecular formula first.
Propane.
The molecular formula. What's the molecular formula of this compound? Molecular formula. It has 4 C's. C4. H cam. C4H10. C4H10. So, but is this compound the same as that? They're different, right?
Yes.
So what makes, so they have the same molecular formula, right? But they have different displayed formulas, right?
Yes.
They have different displays. So basically the display of this compound is different than the display of this compound. So, okay, do they have the same structure formula?
Yes.
No. They don't have the same structure formula.
Oh no.
Because if you it has like a CH3, okay? CH, then we have CH3, CH3. This is the structure formula. This is different than this one, right? So, but they have the same molecular formula, right? It looks a bit strange. It's a bit strange. Oh, do they have the same properties? Like the melting point is the same, the boiling point is the same. Would you think that they have the same properties?
No.
No. Okay. They have different properties indeed. So these are called structural what? مش polymers. ما تقولش polymers. اهبط اي ابدا بس ما تقولش polymers. Structure what? لا حط البايك عشان بس بسمعها لعمته عشان ايه سمعك الغلط. اهبط اي هبدا. polymer يا ازيكو. Structural isomers. انت غالبا خيبت الحصه دي صح؟
لا هو انا معظم الحاجات انا يعني بكون عارفها.
لا امسك المايك. امسك المايك عشان بس الكلام يبقى عشان يتسمع للعيلة. انت كنت غايب في الحصة دي؟
لا.
مش غايب. ماشي. structure isomers. So what are isomers? They are compounds that have the same molecular formula. They both have C4H10 but different what?
Different structure.
Structural formula. They have different structural formula and therefore different displayed formula. You got it? You got what are structural isomers?
Yes.
They're called structure. ففي ان في structure فاهم؟ في حاجة في structure. هو في الحوار في structure. these are structural isomers. So they have different melting points and you can have different structural isomers. For example, let's see this compound. Butane. Like, can we have structure isomers for something like propanol? Sorry, propane. Can we have isomers for propane?
No.
Let's draw propane out. Can we have?
No.
Why?
Because there's no more C's to put in the middle.
Okay, okay. Acceptable answer. No more C's to put in the middle. Okay, I have a question regarding the substitution reaction again. Can we have something like this? C, H.
Yes.
Okay. Can we have another thing like that? Are they the same? They are a bit different, right? They are structural isomers. This is called chloromethane. I think it's called chloro-2-methane. I think propane. And this is called chloropropane. Food 1, chloro-1-propane, but we remove 1, chloropropane. Okay, so is this similar to the one I'm going to draw? Here's the chlorine. Is this similar? How do you say that these are similar?
Because they're both in one.
They basically the compound is a 3D thing. So if you can flip it, it will be flipped, you know? So these are equal. Okay, very good. So we finished alkanes, most of the topic of alkanes, and we said a lot of things regarding introduction of organic chemistry. In the next video, we'll be explaining alkenes. Thank you.